Right, let's get started, shall we? Did you know poo can actually save lives, be resource for power and even drinking water? Let's have a look at some interesting facts about poo and what it can be used for apart from smearing it on the faces of people you don't like. Number 1. There's a phenomenon that makes you have to poop in a bookstore or library. It's so common in fact it actually has a name, which is the Mariko Aoki phenomenon. It's not mentioned in any medical literature, but loads of people experience it. Some say the smell of ink or paper could have a laxative effect, or it's your mind associating bookstores with reading on the throne at home. Maybe it's also the calming atmosphere which makes your bowels relax. We don't know. Number 2. You can poop with your mouth. Yes, massively disturbing this one, but it is possible. It's called fecal vomiting, and obviously if that happens to you, there's something bloody wrong and you better go see a dog right now. If you have a so-called intestinal obstruction, a blockade in your intestines, the poo can't travel along, so it comes out the other way. Your body's trying to get rid of it anyway. Properly disgusting, but fortunately enough, this condition is very rare. Number 3. Reading on the toilet is bad for you. The number 1 thing we do when doing number 2s is reading. Exactly. On our mobiles or the extraordinarily interesting descriptions on shampoo bottles if we forgot our phone. Now, a study suggests that you're more likely to develop hemorrhoids the more time you spend sitting down on the throne, specifically reading. Why is that? Because the longer you stay in the bathroom trying to poop, the more pressure and stress you put to your bottom area, which then causes hemorrhoids. One of my mates had this, trust me. You don't want it and you don't want your dog to see it. Number 4. Your poo is full of useless stuff. What is poo actually? Normally if you take a crap and haven't had Mexican food paired with far too many beers the previous evening, the shite usually slides out nicely, doesn't it? And that's pretty satisfying and smooth. And that's actually because 75% of what comes out of you is water. The other 25%, the solid part, is indigestible bits of food your body doesn't use, bacteria, fat and excess protein. There are also dead red blood cells in there which makes the poo brown. Amazing, innit? Number 5. Sloths only poop once a week. Since utter laziness is the sloth way of life and everything they do is incredibly slow, it's also the way their digestive system works. There are some foods which take a sloth about a month to digest. So if you went to poop only once a week, you better make it count, right? Sloths can lose up to 1/3 of their body weight during the weekly poo. That's like you going for a 50-pound shitting session. Another weird thing about sloths pooping is they always descend to the ground to do their business, which makes them very vulnerable to other predators. It is currently unknown why they don't just do it from the top of the trees, like normal people. Number 6. Poo is also full of valuable stuff. Now with the modern sewage systems, you don't have to use outhouses anymore. We can agree this is quite brilliant. One of the unfortunate things about that is a shitload of precious metal ends up in the sewage as well, which can't be used and is literally wasted. There are tiny fragments of metal from beauty products, deodorant, even clothing that wind up flushed down the drain. Gold, silver, platinum and even more precious stuff is in there. The poo of 1 million Americans could very well contain up to $13 million in metal. You only have to collect it. Good luck! Number 7. You will still poop even if you don't eat. We all know from experience, coffee for instance will make you poop in a bloody instant if you like it or not. We also know whatever you ate last affects the texture and color of it sometimes. But even if you don't eat anything at all, you'll still have to take a dump. How's that? Poo is more than discarded stuff from the food you eat. Your body produces certain secretions and fluids even if you don't eat, so you will still have to poop them out. Bile and gastric juices mixed together are the liquid part of stool. Number 8. Wombats have cube-shaped poo, which they use to remember where they live. Here's a picture. The wombat poops to mark its territory, preventing conflict with its not-so-welcome wombat mates. They deposit it outside the burrows and on rocks and logs where it can be easily spotted by other wombats. The distinctive shape is also quite practical as the flat size of the cubes ensure they don't roll off the things. Number 9. Now, true story here. If you land on the bloody moon, you'd better bring some souvenirs, right? When the crew of the Apollo wanted to take back some moonstones, they had to make some room on the shuttle to accommodate the weight of the stuff they wanted to take back to Earth. In order to do so, they had to let go of some unnecessary stuff. To be exact, 96 bags of poo, pee and puke. The moon now consists of 99.98% moon, tiny bit of some rover thing roaming about, and a tiny bit of human excrements. Number 10. Pandas can poop up to 48 pounds per day. So what do pandas eat all day? Exactly, bamboo. That's been the diet for roughly 2 million years now. The problem is they only digest about 15% of the 30 pounds of bamboo they eat all day. Panda intestines have a very low microbiota diversity and lack the type of bacteria found in other herbivores. And because their body can only make use of only a percentage of what they eat, they basically have to eat tons. That's the panda life, really. Eating and pooping 24/7. Not too shabby, eh? As we all know from one very popular example, not everything we eat will be digested completely. And that's why you can often see little bits of corn in your poo. It's actually just the outside layer, that sort of shell that's not being absorbed by your body. The same goes for tomato seeds. A whole new plant can grow from a bit of poo with the seeds in it. You're now a gardener! Hooray! Number 12. You can drink poop. Technically, you can drink anything. Doesn't mean you really should, but yeah. Now, since we learned poo is 75% water, it makes sense to think about how to extract that as a valuable resource. Now, someone invented a machine which processes human waste and does exactly that. Bill Gates himself hopes this machine could solve the sanitation and drinking water issues in poor countries. He actually drank the water himself. Number 13. Poo as a power source. In Bristol, which is in England, someone took this idea of viewing poo as a resource to a whole new level and built a bus to run entirely on household waste and human waste. So that means it's powered by biomethane gas. The passengers swear it doesn't smell, but despite that, suspiciously enough, there is currently only this one poo bus running at the moment. Number 14. Dubai has no sewer system. Dubai was an extremely rustic area until the discovery of oil in the 1960s. Nowadays we know Dubai is one of the most luxurious places to live in, fancy skyscrapers and fancy people and everything. With all the rapid expansion of the city, the sewer system wasn't exactly able to keep up. Instead, they used poop trucks to haul the entire city's excrements away. Since 2009, Dubai has opened a second poop processing plant, which makes the infrastructure around poo issues somewhat bearable. Number 15. Penguins evacuate their poop at a pressure that's up to 4 times higher than that of a human. When a penguin feels the need to empty its bowels, it will bend forward slightly, lift its tail, and then shoot out its poop up to 40 centimeters away. That might not sound like much, but considering a penguin is around 60 centimeters tall, it's actually quite a far distance. It's the same as a 6-foot guy shooting his waist 4 feet. Without warning, researchers have also discovered 10 whole new penguin colonies by spotting their excrement stains on the ice from satellite images. The ice around the penguins gets dirty because they stay in the same space in very large colonies for months. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, subscribe if you like, and goodbye.